What's up guys, my name is Jeff, I'm the owner of RDR Gear in Salt Lake City, Utah, and today we're going to do a comparison video and talk about two very popular EDC carry guns, the Glock 43X MOS and the P365 standard. I say standard because the XL and the numbers are kind of confusing anyway. So basic rundown on two pistols, 13 rounds, 10 rounds. That's the big one right there. Red dot compatible, non-red dot compatible. Super clean trigger, okay trigger, right? From the factory, on the Sig, you get those new Sig X-ray night sights, front cocking inspirations, standard 13 round magazine with the little pinky thingy on there. Super legit, very well built gun. I personally prefer this trigger compared to the XL trigger, the flat face trigger. I just like the curve. I don't know why, but I'm definitely, this is something that I carry just, usually I carry this one if I'm just gonna run out real fast and come back. Not something I carry every day. It is a little bit small for me to, in my hand per se, but again, if it's something where I just gonna grab and go, it's a great option for that. For anybody who wanted a small compact carry gun, this is definitely something for a bag, whatever case may be. I personally don't think that when it comes to these kind of guns, appendix carry is smart for a subcompact pistol. That's just me personally, because the way the body moves and how much of the grip you have above the belt line and how much little barrel you have below the pant line. Again, that's just me. So on the 365, I do like the trigger. That's my most favorite part. On the 48, I'll be honest, I haven't shot the gun a lot. I have it. It's mostly for fitment, for holsters. I put the red dot, this is the 507K, the first one. I have not done much in regards to the sights. There's still the plastic sights here. Again, I don't shoot a whole lot. I did shoot it one time. When they first came out, I had a buddy of mine who had one. I wasn't a fan of the trigger, and I wasn't a fan of the recoil. I felt it was a little crunchy on the trigger, and the recoil felt pretty nasty. Today we're going to shoot some 124 grain of it. Last time we shot 115 grain. Maybe that makes a difference. And something that's unique about this one, if you notice, the iron sights 100% co-witness. Reason being is, when I first got this gun and the 507s came out, this is one of the very first ones, there weren't plate adapters made for this yet. And if you don't know, these guns came set up for the shield, or is it RMS or RCS, a red dot? So there were 4 posts on here. And I believe it was C&H Precision that had the video out back in the day where you could file down and trim down the posts to make the 507s fit the Glock. I used my 1911 files and I did that, and you'll notice how flush that dot sits on the slide, and you'll see I have 100% co-witness with the plastic iron sights. When we get back to the studio, I'm gonna do a little comparison video between this one and the Glock 48 that we have. Same with the 507K V2 using the C&H plate, and then we're gonna show the difference of height between the two dots. So let's stop talking and start shooting. Eyes and ears, Crispy?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's just we'll shoot these red ones and see what comes out of this. So right off the bat, that red dot, the red hollow sun reticle, very difficult to see out here today. I can barely pick it up on the white targets, and sure as hell not on the red ones. The blue ones aren't too bad though. Sorry, Crispy. Bring it to a magazine? I did not. That's enough of that. I'm not a fan. The 48 shoots way better. I do not like the snappy recoil of the gun. I think it's just a trigger on this one. I don't know, maybe it needs to be cleaned up, whatever. But when I shot the first 43X, I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan now. And that definitely needs to be an issue with the red out on a bright day. But like on the dirt berm, I can't even find the dot. All right, 365 standard, meaning that this is not the XL version. No red dot and no fancy new trigger. Standard X-ray sights, and let's see what this thing does. Bring it for a magazine? I did not. Crispy, you're supposed to have a magazine on you. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't.
So, I've always liked this gun. I've shot it a lot. I've carried a lot. For those of you who remember back in the day, the Sig debacle of broken firing pins and all that kind of stuff, and the uproar that Sig went through in the 365s, this is an original. Does not go back for recall. It did not get the new firing pin thing. I have yet to have a problem. So I don't believe when those things happen, it's kind of like anything. You get a bad batch or a segment of a product that's poor. Not every single one made to date is a problem. I don't shoot it a ton, but we do shoot it. And I'm not real big on maintenance and cleaning, so it's not super nasty, but it's definitely probably could have been cleaned a few times since today. I'm really shitty about cleaning guns, but other than that, like I said before, guys, I don't think that everybody has to buy into the hype of the if one bad one breaks or a handful of them break, they're all bad. I think that it's simply just a segment or a batch or a series, whatever the hell you want to call it, that sometimes may leave the factory and the QC got missed. But again, that's my thoughts on the P365 standard, as I call it. When we get back to the shop tonight, I'm going to give you kind of a rundown on specs, prices, all that good stuff, and my final thoughts on both these pistols, so stay tuned. What's up, guys? My name is Jeff. I'm the owner of RDR Gear here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and today we're going to talk about two very popular EDC carry guns, the Glock 43X MOS and the P365. These are both my personal handguns. I use these mostly for holster fitment. I don't really carry a subcompact pistol all that often. If I do, it's a grab and go kind of thing. And the gun that I do carry in this size configuration is the new Shield Plus. So let's talk about the P365 first. I've had this gun for some time now. This one, when it first came out, we had a couple of these we were using for holster fitment, and how we first bought this gun to make holsters for the P365 when it first came out. I do prefer the curved trigger versus the flat triggers on the XL. I really do like the X-ray sights. And the magazines, I wish there was a little better system for the magazines, but I do prefer the base pad extension versus the flush fit. That does give me a pretty good grip on the pistol. And again, this is something that I do carry sometimes if I need to grab and go kind of thing there. So overall, I really do like how well this pistol shoots. A side note on this gun, this is an original P365. I did not send this gun back. I did not have any issues with firing pin, breaking, etc. I know that oftentimes people would joke that Sig uses its customers as the beta testing or the R&D department. I haven't had any problems with this gun, and I think the community as a whole sometimes will give a vendor a bad rap. We can all, even myself here, there are times where something slips through the cracks a little bit or a QC was missed. We strive for that not to happen and make sure that it doesn't happen, but there are times where something slips through. I don't believe every P365 was bad. I do believe there was a batch or a lot or whatever you want to call it that maybe had some issues. And with the popularity of this pistol at the time when it launched, that lot, batch, or whatever you want to call it, was probably pretty significant, and they went across the country. The forums are a good and a bad place all in the same time, because just because something happened to one gun doesn't mean it's going to happen to every single pistol out there. So again, with that being said, this still is the original version that came out. I have yet to have any issues with the pistol whatsoever. Gun shoots very, very well. So trigger, factory stock trigger, I feel my 43X trigger is better than the 43X MOS trigger. I've had people tell me that. At the end of the day, you could upgrade that trigger if you needed to, but for a carry gun, I don't think it's bad. I just prefer the 43X trigger versus the 43X MOS trigger. Overall, this is a phenomenal gun. It checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. The longer frame is definitely a plus. At the end of the day, this gun, if I was to go out and get a upgraded 507K green, the V2, I would definitely do that. Or even maybe trying, actually I wouldn't even try another red dot. I would just simply get another one of these in the green due to how well it performed today. The red did leave some wanting for me. I think it's honestly due to the size of the dot is the issue. But other than that, once I get some new iron sights on here, this gun really doesn't need anything else. It's good to go. And the Glock 43X MOS gun, you don't need me to tell you the gun is phenomenal or not, because you know it is. Glock makes a great product. If I was to look at these two, or these two pistols here, now that the 365 is optics ready, and you have an XL version as well out there with the capacity and everything else, and you have a Glock 48 option out there, it would be a tough call. So of these two pistols here, my verdict probably would say, even though it does not have a red dot compatible, the capacity, the quality of sights, and the trigger, I would lend towards a P365 of the two pistols, and that's just my personal preference. That is my breakdown and final thoughts on these two pistols, the Glock 43X MOS with the 507K hollow sum, and the P365 standard, because the other one is the XL. So, thanks for watching, guys. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. We post 2 to 3 videos every week on gear that we use, gear that we buy, and gear that we manufacture. Take care, be well.